Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, this is our ongoing meditation session. So be comfortable yourself and relax your body. So once we get connect with our other students, we're ready to start the session for today. Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, in these ongoing meditation sessions, we are trying to share some basic informations related to meditation and giving the opportunity yourself how to build up a very clear, good spiritual foundation for your own life. So most of time, our life used to follow guidance and accept some kind of wisdom out of it. Actually, when it comes to meditation, so the meditation we can't teach, but still we can give some information yourself to work on it. So when we observe the nature, so as example, trees, mountains, rivers, so those are the wind. So those are doesn't have any advisor. They have the self-correcting mechanism. So when it comes to our body also, the body has that nature, self-correcting mechanism. So as example, heart, liver, kidneys, brain, our skin, tongue, this teeth, the eye, ear, this entire body parts, all organs. According to that organ, it has its own self-correcting mechanism. is kind of like a self-regulator. It has way to maintain itself. It is very sustainable. So when it comes to our brain, the same. And when it comes to, as you know, the immune system, the behavior of our physical body, it always go with the self-correcting system. And like as example, if you keep running, so your pressure go high, your heartbeat go high. And when you go to sleep, your pressure go down. And when you move fast, your heat go up. And when you calm down, your heat go down. And at the same time, you know this internal and external, the pressure, temperature, how balance itself. So understand this little bit, take time and try to think yourself. Why? Because we are always look for guidance. That is very wrong. We are always go behind somebody's ideas. That is where our life become more complicated. We always forget our own ability of understanding. We trust books, lectures, some other teachings. So nothing wrong with that. But most of time, most of the teachings, most of the books, most of the lectures, most of the courses, programs, diplomas, always allow you to be limited to certain kind of information. So when it comes to this meditation, it is totally different than that kind of practice. So the meditation is a method giving your awareness, consciousness to develop self-correcting ability. The meditation is a self-correcting mechanism. This is the self-regulator. So just imagine if the self-regulator doesn't work properly, and when you go to the physical example, according to the biology, if the self-correcting system or the mechanism doesn't work properly, you may die. Your balance go out. You always start to feel kind of like a very uncomfort. And all your perception start to misguide you. So when it comes to the mind, also the same. So ignorance means we have no capability to understand things as it is. Not just the physical name or form. It's about how things come to be as they are. That is the very fundamental truth about this everything. And then we misunderstand. Impermanent things we take as permanent. Selflessness things we take as self. And the suffering we take as satisfaction. So that is the base of the ignorance. So, but the thing is this, you have to understand this. So the right informations there, but we understand it wrong. So that is where, for your ignorance, you are responsible. So, not the nature, not the environment, not the outside world. So what you understand, you are responsible for that. Try to go backward and try to access to inside. Try to come from that place. Don't try to go over the surface level. So then, when the perception arises, when the perception perceive, this misunderstanding happens because of the inner memory. That's what we call the mental formations or the cankers, our past experience. So, see, then the truth is there and it come to us, but once we perceive it, from inside information, it manipulate. So then why it happened that way? Because the ability of this self-correcting mechanism, keep the balance with that, is very low. So that is why we bring the practice, and not for one time, again and again, again and again. When you continue, when you go unbalanced, you come back to it. It's not about guiding through words. No, yourself, your consciousness itself come back to the present moment. So for our primary mental object, we take our breathing. Why? Because the breathing is the real-time anchor. You come back to the breathing and be with the breathing. So your awareness, your present moment of consciousness is the place to keep your balance. Your awareness is the self-regulator. So then here, when it comes to whatever you practice, always you have to remember to know where your awareness. If it is go to kind of like a dream state, or if it is go out of balance, if it start to bring more information related to some imagination, then right away you come to the breathing. Stay with it. And once you come to the breathing, from there what you start to recognize. So in the beginning, that we use the word called breathing. And so the breathing, so the breath inhalation, exhalations. So these names, our mind deeply has a connection to the names. We need that. But the thing is, what we mean by inhalation or what we mean by exhalation, it is not a complete, unchangeable, solid structure going to be there always when you see the inhalation or when you recognize the exhalation. See that you have the name inhalation or exhalation, but now when you see the inhalation, of course you have a name for that, and using that name you recognize happening. But when you go to the middle of that recognition, what you see, that what we mean by inhalation has a process, the beginning, the middle, the end, and also long inhalation, short inhalation, soft, warm, cold. So it has a different behavior. So then, of course, we use a name, inhalation or exhalation, but still we have to remember when you go deeper into it, that name is just only a guideline, just information. It doesn't have anything else. And when you go a little bit more deeper, so that own inhalation, exhalation itself is not a something, has a self-identity. So the inhalation itself doesn't know it is inhalation, or the exhalation doesn't know it is exhalation. So it is a very byproduct of four elements: heat, motion, liquidity, and hardness. And it's a moment by moment change. So this is what your real time in the present moment of the process build up this experience. And then when you go to the entire body, it follows that mechanism. So the lungs doesn't know it is a lung, or the heart doesn't have any consciousness, or I am the heart 24/7, I have to keep pumping blood. No. This eye, ear, nose, tongue, this body doesn't have the self-own identity. Keep holding to it. I am the eye, or I have to keep watching. I am the ear, I have to keep hearing, like that. It's free from that all. But out of this all, we bring our self-identity. See that? From the bottom, from the basic level, from the foundation, from your breath, from your organs, to your body, entire process doesn't have that any self-centered identity. But using this all, when it comes to our moment of experience, that is where we put a label, or that is where we give an identity. And once we go again and again and again with that, once it becomes the memory, we develop our self-centered identity on the memory. But if you look very carefully in the moment of experience, there is no self-centered identity. It's a moment of experience. So if you are capable to, in that very level, and you start to observe deeply, you can see. So whatever the experience come to you, without grasping, clinging, holding, if you are capable to experience it, it doesn't affect for your journey. And at the same time, your mind become free from it. You need that freedom if you want to go deeper. The reason is when you go deeper, that is where you recognize the history. Like archaeologists, when they go deeper, they recognize the past history. So when you recognize your past, your history, what you can see, you recognize it is also that whatever you went through is the same like this present moment. But you didn't have the ability to see it consciously. You saw it, you had experienced it with the memory. And that is where your memory became powerful. So once you recognize that, the what is in your head or what is in your mind, what you are struggling with your past, you recognize it is just a thought that happened in the moment, and you hold it and you gave identity and label as you. Now it's create a big pile. Then now it is a kind of like a big mountain. Now it is visible for you. So, but if you look at this very moment, the very real time of this process, it is a very, very empty moment. So if you are capable to access to that emptiness, then it's kind of like you access to kind of like a very nuclear power. Because in that very moment, you experience, but you are not bound to the experience. You are not limited to experience. When the experience become free from the experience, the experiencer become infinite. And once the mind, that means the experiencer become infinite, it become formless. Once it become formless, no identity. Once it come out of the identity, no self-centered mind. Once it come out of the self-centered mind, no comparison. Once the person come out of the comparison, no judgment. Once the person come out of the judgment, you have the clarity. Once you have the clarity, you are capable to see things as it is. Once you are capable to see things as it is, you are capable to see how things come to be as they are. So once you're capable to see how things come to be as they are, you recognize what is the meaning of change, what is the meaning of impermanent, what is the meaning of unsatisfactory nature. So the thing is, this need to come out of the practice by yourself, not by guidance, not by following somebody. There is no mediator for this experience. Whoever want to experience this need to have the strength and courage to walk in this path by yourself. You have to learn to swim yourself, not always looking for help. Because it's not about the world, it is about moment of experience, how you deal with the moment of experience. And that is where this self-correcting mechanism work. If you use it properly, if you start to learn the art of it, your mind by the time start to anchor to the breathing, be with it, be with it, be with it, and anchor to the present moment. Comeback power, you develop the comeback power. And that is what you have to practice. But most of time, just imagine at home, when you have children, if you love them, the most of time you interfere to their work and you do it behalf of them. Just imagine a student writing an essay and maybe you want to look at it and maybe you are correcting it, or maybe you are giving advice. This is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, do this way, do that way, like that. And maybe the students following your advice will correct the essay. And by the time the student will get 100% mark, or then you think you help for that person. You guide, but that student never learn how to self-correct. To give that opportunity is not easy. Why? Because we are emotionally bound to each other. And sometimes this emotional interference disturb our ability of this self-correcting. So that's why yourself have well-disciplined mind to take the fully responsibility and trust your awareness. Of course, nothing wrong that you have the guidance from outside world, but when it comes to practice, don't look for guidance. You are the one who practice. Trust your mind. Trust your awareness. See what you see, not somebody else what they guide. For certain practice, maybe it work. But what I'm telling here, if you really want to look for or access to the truth, the very depth of the truth. You have to walk just by yourself. Don't go with partners. Don't go there with friends. Don't go there with teachers or the students. If you look for the truth, go just by yourself. That is where you find it. You know, the ghost or the demons, like in our villages that time, we didn't have lights, electricity. We used this the torch. And it says that all the demons or the ghost afraid for the light, and they run away. So like that. And another thing is, the ghost or the demons never come if you are with somebody else. Only if you alone yourself, you can see. And what you see, another person cannot see. So the truth also like that. So that's why if you go with the company, if you go with another person, if you go with the partner, you may not going to see the truth. That is the ultimate treasure that we can find. So then stand yourself, get ready for that, expand the strength of the capacity that yourself can observe, understand, absorb, digest yourself, build up yourself. It's like, this electricity, these bulbs has power to hold certain watts. So you need the physical capacity to increase the physical capacity to get the more higher volt. So otherwise it's burn. It's 60 watts. That's it. The bulb can carry, hold, handle. If you give 200 watts, what will happen? It burn. Why? Because it doesn't have the capacity. But there are like a commercial lights. When I went to the electric shop to find the electric lights for our temple, I found out, oh my goodness, there are commercial lights. It has kind of like a huge capacity to hold the power. But it's not kind of like a very fancy, it's not kind of like a very cute, beautiful like that. But look, this Christmas lights, many different colors, pattern. It look very nice, very mellow and very beautiful, but it cannot handle the higher capacity. And if you go to these electrical shops, and you will see the commercial lights, they are not that much look pretty. They are very rough, very tough, strong, heavy, and it has power to hold bigger capacity. So mentally, you have to be like that if you really want the truth. If you look for that, if you go into this deeper spiritual journey, you have to have that kind of mindset inside you. So one thing is, you have to be very strong. And physically also same. Physically you have to be strong. And mentally also you have to be strong. Another thing is, you cannot be emotionally collapse all the time. You have to be kind of like a emotionally strong, and you have to be disciplined. Otherwise, you cannot be strong. You have to have some kind of self-discipline. You cannot be a person just you do everything and then you find the truth. You cannot do that. It's not going to come. That two things doesn't work together. So then remember, it is your choice. If you want the truth, if you look for the truth, if you go towards the Dharma, start to develop the self-correcting mechanism inside you. As I mentioned, like the trees, the mountains, the rivers, no need any navigation. It has itself has the ability to correct and go towards the ocean. So the wind. So same thing, always remember yourself not to caught up in this imagination, fear, comparison, and have the ability to come back. Find the balance, like your body temperature, like your this inner organs. Find the balance. That doesn't mean you go the same. No, find the up and down. Go up and down, but you find the balance. Find the balance. Have that self-correcting mechanism, self-regulation. And that way, you will see how your practice going to become more and more and more authentic, organic. That is where you gain the result, and that is where you gain the wisdom. So, going yourself in this journey, becoming a person to get a higher capacity, you have to be matured little by little. That's why Shraddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya. These 5 spiritual faculties, 5 spiritual foundations. Practice you need. Faith, effort or the energy, awareness, concentration, undisturbed mind, and wisdom. And but in the middle, the awareness, that means self-correcting mechanism, guide this all. Because the truth is, it's a kind of like a high frequency energy. It has power to scatter your mind. It has ability to, the blow out your head. Sometimes some people cannot hold the truth, their heart blow out. This way, sometimes even, see, I give some example, like when you try to tell the real truth to somebody, you have to have guts to tell that. And sometimes, like if somebody died, so that's the real truth. That's the worldly nature. But when you're going to tell to somebody, maybe you're afraid, oh, how am I going to tell that? Maybe that person cannot handle this information. And maybe that person faint. Oh, maybe if the person is a heart patient, maybe he's going to get another heart attack. Hearing the truth. See, that's the nature. Hearing the truth, we get heart attacks. Hearing the truth, our blood pressure go high. Hearing the truth, seeing the truth, people collapse. This is the conventional level of truth. See, that is where we have to understand why. See, then it is not something, it's just the truth. So the reason is we are like Christmas lights and try to access to high voltage. Don't do that. You burn. So then develop yourself. Physically be strong. That is very necessary. Physically be tough. And mentally be tough. Be strong. Physically, you be like a boxer. But the moment Tali told, it's not about you not get hit or not you not going to go down. How many times you can stand make you a winner. When the day you cannot stand, game over. So like that, in this spiritual journey, remember, it doesn't matter how many times you go down, you come back. You come back. That is the power you have to develop. So then be strong yourself. Physically be strong, mentally be strong, emotionally be strong. Don't be so mellow. Don't always look for head massage. Don't look don't go behind fantasies. So, because you can go towards that, but you cannot find the truth. So then remember, expand your capacity and walk yourself alone. Little by little, try yourself little by little, little by little. Even though in person when we practice, we have a sangha, the community to practice. It gives the strength each other to go into the path. But end of the day, when you really, really come closer to truth, it doesn't matter in the samsaric journey, million lifetimes you work together. When you come closer to truth, you have to separate and you have to go just by yourself. If you don't practice that, you cannot do that. You cannot find it. So then don't afraid. When you go into a higher frequency, when you're going to get the higher vibration, when you're going to get a higher level of power, when you're going to ready to get a strong punch, if you are strong, if you're ready for that, if you know how to handle it, you can survive. That is where you can win. So, in this conventional journey, before we go into the truth, to survive as people, also we can use this, but our purpose is not addressing to this conventional level of things. Our purpose is addressing to the deeper, the highest purpose. So I hope this will help for you. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit. So your right palm on your left neck, head straight in one line and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself. And say Swapatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate this knowledge. In this moment, with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of inhalation and exhalation. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. So allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself as it is. Don't involving or don't interfere with it. Be aware to have clear understanding, to see it as it is moment by moment. Do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward, visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside, to your left side, and to your right side. Downward and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Also, by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata ca ammehi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Imaya dhamma anudhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi dhammang pujemi sanghang pujemi. Attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribunjissami. Idamme punya kammang asavakkayavang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.